Praise the Lord, everyone. Thank you for tuning in with Dr. Leisha, the preacher. Okay. Well, here, let me move this. Hold on. I need to move this over. Okay. So, yeah, apparently, I think over the weekend or very recent, there's a story circulating about a black man, fairly young, probably 30, 30s, something like that. Um, his white girlfriend, possibly baby mama, um, killed him. They were out partying, having a great time, and she ended up shooting him. Okay. So before I explain the difference between a white woman killing a black man compared to a black woman killing a black man, let me use this example, and it's not based on color at all. So I'm a mom, and I raised four children in my household, four children that I was uh, responsible for long term. I was a foster parent as well as I gave birth naturally to two girls, and in my second marriage, we adopted two boys. And then I fostered a lot of kids, but they were not long term. They end up being adopted out by other families. But in my household, if my kids were not getting along, if they were not getting along, they were fighting or whatever, which rarely happened, but you know, I kept my kids so busy till there wasn't a lot of room for fighting in my home because they were busy. They were all basically star athletes and had friends, and we were always traveling, AAU and all this stuff. So my kids didn't have a lot of time to be, too crazy. So at the end of the day, when my kids fight at home, I deal with it differently than if they were fighting with their peers at school or anywhere else. Now, at home, it's sister on sister, sister on brother, I deal with it, differently. But let somebody on the outside of my family do anything to my kids, oh, it's not going to be handled all, family like we do in our house. Two different ways of dealing with it. Even if one of your own children killed one of your other kids, you know, you have love for both. I mean, like you will grieve the one that's gone, but the one that's here that committed the murder, I mean, that's still your child too. You see what I'm saying? There's compassion and grace and stuff, among your own household. But let one of their friends outside of our household kill one of my children, I'm just saying when they were growing up or something like that. Oh my God. Oh yeah, we're gonna be in court. We gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole different situation. I will have no compassion and love for an outsider that do the same crime that my kids may do among themselves. Two different impacts, two different effects. Okay, so apparently this particular black man was known for being on social media bragging to no end how proud and blessed he was to have his white woman, you know. And he would even go so far as to say that this is what I hear, He went so far as to say that he would rather be with a dog than to be with a black woman. That's just how blessed he was to have her because of her whiteness. It's just straight up her whiteness. You know what I mean? But yet he hated black women so much that he would rather be with a dog, and the dog would have to be white. Okay. So there are a lot of black men that, I mean, in their core, deepest soul core, feel this way. They hate black women, and they think white women are just like everything. And like he said, I'm willing to die for her. I'm willing to, die because of her and all this kind of, I mean, he really, really, really was an extremist on this topic. And so, I hear that there are comments about, well, that's what he chose. So, and this is what he get. This, hey, this ain't got nothing to do with black people. He wanted to go that far into his white world that there's nothing that any black person can do for him. I hear that they want to make it racial and they want to march and all this kind of stuff. And black people are like, this is not our, it's not our fight. He dissed us with pride, beating on his chest, went over there and got himself killed. I mean, what do you do with that? I mean, there's nothing black people can do except for his immediate family, like his parents and stuff, you know. Outside of that, I mean, like, there's not much black people can do because he went out of his way to put himself in that position, you know. Okay, so now the difference between, so with that being said, to me, it's the same, like with black men and black women. We're like family, so when we beef among each other, you know, people can have compassion, people can relate, in our own community. We can relate to the feuding and we know how to help each other out. You know what I mean? Like your family, his family, neighbors, there's usually somebody may help, calm the situation down, you know. If and even if, a murder take place, a black woman kills her husband or something like that, or a boyfriend over cheating or messing up the money or whatever happened. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, we can get in each other's butts about it, and then we also can have compassion about it. You know what I mean? Because it's all in the family. We know how to deal with our issues on that level, you know. And but when a black man is killed by a white woman, there's not a whole lot the black community can really do. It's hard to have, it's really, we're really disabled in that situation, you know. Um, they're not like us. I mean, the way to put it, they're not like us, you know. His family, they're on their own. They may get some support and help, but because of how he dogged black people so bad in order to, be blessed with his whiteness, white girlfriend, baby mama, whatever she was to him, um, it's just really hard to, So that's another reason why I make a big stink on my channel about my second husband secretly leaving me for a white woman and then married this woman. That's why I make a big deal out of it, because before he did that, before he did that, left me for a white woman, we adopted two black boys. And I believe that my ex-husband raised them to be like the black man that was just killed this weekend. I know my sons, I've heard, well, at least one of them say things like, you know, if it ain't white, it ain't right. Um, if it ain't snowing, I ain't going. I raised a black boy who act like and feel like the one that died this weekend. I didn't even know my husband was like that until after we were married. After we were married, I realized the extent that my husband was like that. So there are black men who will actually marry a black woman, have black kids and stuff, and as soon as he has the money, the confidence, or whatever it is he think he need to go after the white woman, he will. And he will abandon his black wife and kids, the whole, in our case, 20 some years of labor to go get his dream, his blessing, you know? So I believe way before he left me for his white woman, he raised our boys to hate black women and to go after white women. And that's what my boys did. So my husband and two sons are like this. They are a lot like this man over the weekend. They will trash black women, act like we ain't shit, and they will go after white women with full steam, thinking that that is the ultimate prize of their world. And that's really sad to me. Now to them, they happy and they got their whiteness and they couldn't be happier. Just like this black man. He was all on social media bragging about this woman and how happy he was to have his white, her whiteness was the point. Not her character, none of that. So that's what's hurtful. I don't think the average black woman, I don't think she care what black men do per se. It's just that when black men go out of their way to act like black women ain't shit on no level, and then they go around and brag about their white woman. You know what I mean? That's what's concerning. Now, if you're, a black person who just, happen to meet a white person and fall in love and you get married, have kids, I mean, okay, cool. I mean, who can be mad at that? Nobody can be mad at that. Because you could have happened to have met a black woman, happened to have met an Asian woman, you know, to have happened to meet someone and fall in love. That's different than, oh, I can't stand my own people. We too ghetto, we too this, we too that. You know, we kill each other more than white people kill us. And stuff like that. Those are just excuses. And I'll use myself as an example, okay? I'm a black woman, and now my preference, I have a preference. I think most people have a preference. My preference is a dark skinned black man. I love extremely dark skin, like purple, blue, black looking dark skin. That's my preference. But I have not limited my life based on that preference. I've dated, all kind of people. I mean, I haven't dated a lot of people, but I'm just saying I've dated a variety of people. I have not had a relationship with anybody white. I haven't had a relationship with anybody white. But my husband and I, we used to swing with white people. We were swingers and we used to swing with white people. So I don't have anything against white people. I live in Michigan. I can't afford to have any issues with white people. I can't afford to. I live in Michigan. you know, white people everywhere here. And in my whole life, I've been around them. And, you know, like I said, I socialize with them. I'm a nudist. So there aren't a lot of black nudists. I mean, there are some. Yeah, there are. But we're not out at the nude resorts in the numbers that white people are. So, I'm naked around them and whatever. But I still have a strong preference for my own. And when I say my own, I mean like the darkest of the darkest of us. It's just something about that color that just like your eye, it can't take your eyes off, kind of thing. But um, but at the end of the day, I don't go around saying that light skinned black people suck and I would never mess with them because my preference is the dark skinned black man. The light skinned ones can kiss my butt. I don't have that attitude. My first husband was a dark skinned black man, athletic, football player, my type. So I was blessed the first time to have my type. But the second time, light skinned, not athletic, kind of like a Mr. Phil on Fresh Prince of Bel Air. That was kind of like the second husband. You know what I mean? Not athletic at all, lighter complected. Just not my preference. Not my preference. But someone that I loved and thought was my soulmate and twin flame and the love of my life regardless. He wasn't even my preference, but I thought he was the love of my life. But I was stupid because he really wanted a white woman the whole time. So he just got me set up for me until he could get what he really wanted. And I know that in my soul. And I know that he raised our boys to be the same, to be like him. And so, yeah, I will continue to make videos like this because, you know, it's just sad. It's just sad when we as black people hate ourselves so much that we just sell our soul to white people because of the hate we have for ourselves. We will throw our own people under the bus, break them, whatever, put our mouth all on our own people because we think whiteness is so much better. You know, um, I'm done with romantic relationships as far as like, getting married and having sex and all that. I'm done with that part of my life, you know, in general. And currently, I do have a, a white couple, a married couple that I'm spend time with. You know, I won't know. I don't know if the word dating is appropriate, but I'll just say I'm dating a white couple right now. I don't have an issue with white people. I don't have an issue with light skinned black people, even though my preference is the dark skinned black man. That's my preference. But I can't have my preference right now. I can't have my preference. I can't have it because I'm done with single men. I'm done with dating on that level. So whether it's my preference, non-preference, or whatever, it's all off the table for me. And right now, to keep myself from being antisocial, I choose to, date couples for the socialization, to be able to, have somewhere to go sometimes with people, uh, you know, go out to dinner, go to their home, whatever. I'm not really into anyone coming to my home because I need to protect my kids. My ex-husband that left me for the white woman, before he did that, he messed around with our daughter's girlfriend, stole my daughter's girlfriend and messed around with this girl. That's his sugar baby for life. She's still in his life. Even though he got a white wife, he still got this little black girl as his sugar baby. I mean, she ain't no girl. She a grown woman, probably about maybe 30 years old now with two or three kids or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I just think it's sad when black people, whether it's a man or a woman, hate their own people so much and they become obsessed with other races. I mean, obsessed to the point where they just completely sell themselves out, trying to go against their own nature. So that's really all I have to say on this topic. You know, when Black people are in relationships and, things don't work out or there's some struggle or whatever, you have the community around you. You have people who have been there, done that, can give you the support you need. This young man, the way he set himself up, you know, acting like Black people are just so beneath his white woman. Now that she's killed him, it's like, I mean, how can we be there for him? It's like you isolate yourself and you leave yourself at the mercy of the other people. And then apparently her family is father or somebody is connected to the law. You know what I mean? So she got her support. Her people gonna stand by her. Him, he gone. He gone. He gone. And the way he left his legacy, left his life, it's really difficult to have compassion. Very difficult. But because I love my ex and my sons, and I care about them, you know, I believe there's hope for them. I believe there's hope that they can, you know, cure their mind about their own people, and that they can place white people in their proper place. I mean, it's okay to be with them if that's what you want, but does it have to be at the expense of your own people? Do you have to hate your own people in order to be with other people? And if that's the case, why? And you may say because we're trash, we kill each other, we always doing this, and we poor, and we, and all this kind of stuff. Well, there's reasons for that too. There's reasons for that. And because of those reasons, that's why we can have compassion for one another. We can be the support each other need because we're all dealing with it. So I could be wrong, you know. Leave comments. My comment section isn't on, but after the video is done, which I'm about to turn it off soon, you can leave comments, your thoughts about it, you know. But and even with the one guy, his wife killed him a few years ago in the celebrity world. Stitch, boss Stitch or something like that. He was the dancer, and his wife. I mean, he killed himself. He killed himself, and now his wife is profiting. I mean, she's really profiting. That's what you call profiting off of somebody's death. My ex didn't want to leave me and my kids anything because he felt like he didn't want us profiting off of his death, as far as life insurance policies and all that kind of stuff. Stuff you're supposed to do for your family. But his wife, she's really profiting off of his death. I mean, his own Black people had to you know, um, sign off on being able to even talk about him and stuff like that, to even go to the funeral and whatever. I'm like, wow. Now I'm not accusing him of being, putting Black people down and putting his white wife on a pedestal. I'm not accusing him of that. But I'm just saying that this man ended up dead. And she act like it's all his fault. And it could be. I mean, we don't know. you know, we don't know. And it's really difficult for us to back him up because she was so in control. She was so in control and is in control now and making money. Now, I think things are starting to crack down on her a little bit, but at the end of the day, she got her people. They got her back. Her people got her back. Trust and believe. we're always going to be looking like crazy out here in those type of situations. And I believe stuff like this has been happening the whole time. But for whatever reason, you know, media wants to put these type of stories out in the forefront. White women been killing black men in the name of love for a long time. This is nothing new. But now all of a sudden, you know, it's you know, it's just really in the forefront. And I think there's a reason for that. I believe they're headed toward changing the laws back to the way it was, where black people marry black people, white people marry white people, there's not going to be all this interracial marriage and stuff. I could be wrong, but the way they've turned back, they're turning back some marriage laws and divorce laws and stuff now, and they're turning back, the abortion laws. They're doing things now to set society up because, from what I understand, there aren't enough white births. In order to secure enough white people in this country, because there's been so much mixing and immigration. It's been a lot of immigration, a lot of mixing. And in order for white people to keep their quote unquote dominance and superiority in this country, they're going to have to change the laws to guarantee more white people come forth. So black people, no matter how much we hate ourselves and hate each other and all this kind of stuff, when they change these laws, all we gonna have is each other again. That's all we gonna have. So, I don't know what black men are gonna do. If these laws, I mean, they're working on all this stuff now, right in front of our face. All this stuff is happening. And trust and believe Trump is not gonna stop. I see him changing that law back. I can see him doing it. I mean, I could be wrong, you know. And so I don't know what black men are gonna do. They don't want black women. They think we're, not even, they put a dog before us. So when the laws change back, black men are going to be suicidal because they're going to miss their white women. I think black men are going to be sick to their stomachs. They're going to be suicidal. They're not going to be functional because they're not going to be able to have the white woman. They're going to feel stuck with us black women, just stuck and depressed with us. And they don't want us. But, it is what it is. You know, I dealt with them for 32 years, legally married to black men for 32 years, even though they didn't want me. They didn't want me. Even my first husband, he's love white women. He love them. He loved black women too. He loved black women too. That's one thing about that first husband. I don't remember him talking bad about black people. I don't remember him talking bad about black people. He loved him some white women now, y'all. He love them. Love them, love them, love them. But I never heard him talk bad about us. And he act like he really was into me. No matter how much he loved white women, he was really into me. And because I knew he loved white women so much, I didn't expect for him to treat me special. You know what I mean? I knew how I was going to be treated, but he did not treat me bad. I didn't feel like, I never felt less of a black woman because my first black husband loved white women so much. His love for white women did not make me feel less as a black woman. I'll put it that way. But the second husband, the way he did me and raised our sons to be, my God, I just said, forget the whole thing. I'm just done. I tap out. I love my black men, but they don't love me back. Not like that. They really love white women that much. So it's going to be hard for black men. And we black women, I don't know what we're going to do about all these. It's going to be a bunch of depressed, crybaby black men out here when white men pull back the law and 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 don't want them to be with it. White men are not going to want to share their women anymore. Even if white men don't want white women like that. I mean, think about it. White men started it first. White men were the first ones that had access to, you know, women overseas or, you know, just other women. They started that. They're the ones that didn't want the white woman enough. You know what I'm saying? They were able, back in the day, they were able to had a white wife in the big house and they could just go on out on the plantation and be with any black woman they wanted. That had to have made white women feel horrible. And then whenever they travel, white men would just, be whatever woman they want as they traveled out there. And so black men have tried to, you know, mimic and copy the white man's freedom, but the white man can pull that back at any time. The black man's freedom to be with white women, the white man can pull that back at any time and lock black men up for even looking at a white woman, let alone getting on social media bragging about how blessed he is to have one. The white man can change that law and lock you up for even looking at a white woman. We've lived that life before, and it can easily go back, easily. So there will be a lot of sick black men if you do get that far. If you get that far, black men they're gonna be suicidal and they're gonna be killing more black women because they just don't want us and they're gonna feel like they stuck with us and they're gonna be beating us. It's gonna be like it was. So black women, we get the short end of the stick no matter what, you know. And yeah, there are a lot of black women that say, "Forget it, I'm just gonna go be with marry me a white man and have mixed kids." A lot of black women are doing that, and I'm not mad at them. But I'm glad that I didn't do that, and I'm glad that my daughters don't have it in them. Even though the black men that were in our home couldn't stand us and couldn't wait to go be with white women, me and my daughters, we were we proud to be black. We proud to be black, and we prefer to be with our own, even though they don't want us. We still prefer our own. Period. And again, I have a couple that I'm dating right now, and they're white, but I'm not sexually involved. I'm not sexually involved. I just did that while I was with my husband. You know, I wanted to see what he was like outside of me. I mean, he already told me he didn't want me no way. So let me see what you really want. Let me see what you into. And he would act kind of shy about it because he didn't. But I got to see him. I was able to clock him, you know, through swinging, see what he really liked, even though it wasn't really my thing. But I just want to understand where I stood with my own husband. What he was so secretive and kept everything on the low all the time, you know. But yeah, look, that's my take on this, you know. Black men that, get out there as far as this particular black man did in the white world, the way he did it. Um, it's just really it's hurtful. He didn't deserve to be shot by this white woman. He didn't deserve it. He was just, he just felt so blessed to be with her. At least that's what he portrayed. Like he was so happy to be with her. He was blessed. She was his everything. She was his everything. But he was just another black man. Another black man that can just be taken out because she cleaning her gun or some dumb shit. Whatever. It don't matter. you know, it don't even matter. The point is, he didn't deserve to die like that just because he was obsessed with her. If she didn't like how he was, you know, praising her, then she should have just left him alone. But to kill him, as much as it hurt what my husband did, raising my sons to basically hate me and then run off. They all just run off with white women, acting like, you know, white women are their savior. Um, I don't want them dead. I still want them happy. I'm glad my husband got what he wanted. I've known him since ninth grade, and I know his journey. I know he was teased as a kid and, the nerd, and, he's had a lot of disadvantages in life. So he finally gets something that he wants, something he can be proud of. I'm happy for him. I just hate how he had to go about it. Why did you have to throw me and my daughters under the bus just to get to your white woman? We were here helping you, loving you, you know? And I ain't stopped. I ain't stopped him from getting to his white woman. I've helped him. I even mentioned before, his prom date. I've known him since ninth grade. So I fixed him up with his prom date, which was one of my white girlfriends. He knew her too. We were all friends in the same honors program, but neither one of them had prom dates. And I was like, well, y'all should go. He's my friend. She's my friend. Y'all don't have dates. He black, she white. Who cares? They went to the prom. And they even got to hang out together on the senior trip and stuff like that. I was cool with all that. He wasn't my boyfriend. I wasn't his girlfriend, but we were friends. Friends look out for each other. At that point, nobody was checking him. Nobody was trying to date him, black, white, none. Nobody was. But I, was able to hook him up with. And then when we opened up swinging, he was more into, white people. But he did have the one black lady, because it was a point where he was trying to throw me under the bus after he basically forced me to adopt kids. And I ended up having to give up any hopes for a career or being independent, because I had to focus on the kids. They had special needs and stuff. Um, after putting me, suppressing me, where I couldn't be an independent woman, um, financially, I just thought it was cruel to treat me that way and then just run off and leave me high and dry. Didn't, I don't know. But anyway, that's another video. But I made the point I wanted to make. There is a difference. There is a difference, a big difference. And, and again, I'm talking to and dating a white couple myself right now. And it's not necessarily because I want to, not necessarily, but I've taken a few years off from dating and I realized that I like to date couples. I learned that in my marriage. I like dating couples. I'm not into the single person, male or female. I'm not into the single person no more. And I've learned that in Michigan, I can't say all over the United States, but here in Michigan, it's difficult to find black couples, like married black couples. There are some out there. I've met a few, but For the most part, it's a challenge to find Black couples that are honest and open about dating. You know, most Black people, at least here in Michigan, lie and cheat on each other. They claim they monogamous in each other's face, but as soon as they turn their back, they sleep with other people. They just don't want to be honest about it. I can't do that. I can't do that. It has to be open and honest. So I find that in Michigan, there are more white couples that live that way. They want to date another woman together. You know, some white couples date together, the same woman, and then they may date separately. Like he may have his own girlfriends, and she may have her own, girlfriend, guy friends, or whatever. But I tend to attract, or I am attracted to the couples that date together exclusively. They don't go outside of each other. That's what I prefer. I like being that third person that they're all giddy and excited about. you know. I have a, a, um, a lifestyle name. Y'all know me as Dr. Leisha the Preacher, but I also have a lifestyle name that I go by. So, but anyway. All right, guys, click like, click subscribe, hit that notification bell. So when I come out with another crazy video, my little stories, crazy stories, you can hear it. Be one of the first to hear it, okay? And don't you want to be a subscriber? If you haven't subscribed, go ahead. Don't you want to be a subscriber? Yes, I know you do. Hit that subscribe button. Share my videos, share them, watch them. I have what, 5,600 videos now? My God, I'm growing. And I'm not monetized yet anywhere on social media. I don't have the numbers yet, but I'm getting there. But I do have PayPal if you just want to be a blessing, send a donation. Um, my PayPal is Dr. Leisha the Preacher. All right, you all be blessed. Thanks for listening. Bye.